You are listening to the War of Civility on Marquette Radio.
Hello, everybody, and welcome into episode number 4 of the War of Civility. I'm John Hand, along with me, as always, Tim Sirota and Phil Penarski. How you doing, guys?
I'm good.
Yeah, I'm alright.
So last week, I opened the show talking about how this was episode number 3. This was make or break for us. This was a big
And I think we made it.
Right. Well, the thing is, like, if you look at the episode, like, things didn't go 100% right for us. So
it could have been a lot worse.
This is what I'm getting at, is that, like, we might have been had music going some parts, the podcast.
Jamming out.
The podcast might not have 100% worked, but the fact that we got through it, I think shows that episode number 4 and from here on out is just going up.
Yeah, I'd agree. I mean, we're getting better every show. We're getting more comfortable being, on the radio and everything. So, by episode 10, ESPN will be knocking at the
10.
door.
Episode 5, bro. Next week.
Next week. Be prepared.
They're not already?
You check your email. I guess I haven't checked my email. So I'd like to apologize for my voice. I don't know if it sounds horrible or not, but I have an upper respiratory infection. Fancy word for a head cold. So if I'm making a point and at some point there's dead air, it's because I'm coughing. You guys need to carry the show. If a lung pops up, we're going to keep the show going. The show must go on.
The show must go on.
I don't want to compare this to Jordan's flu game, but this is like Jordan's flu game for me. The good news for me, though, is one of my hallmates had pink eye, and this eye, my left eye, was completely bloodshot.
You got pink eye, John.
Nope, it's not pink eye.
Oh.
I had it checked out. I thought it was pink eye, which would have been bad.
Still could be. Might come back.
Your optimism is just wonderful.
Thank you.
You're just so sweet. But you know what? Both of us are in O'Donnell, and you two are in O'Donnell, so if it is pink eye, you don't want pink eye.
God.
That could easily
Am I going to get pink eye?
Exactly, that's my point. That could spread. So, root for an upper respiratory infection.
My mom's trying to take care of me.
John is coughing up his lung right now. So
That's exactly what I was talking
Hello,
about.
John's lungs.
So I may be taking a trip to the clinic later today. I don't know. We'll see how I feel. I'm on some medication right now and plowing through. Anyway, so there is stuff happening in the sports world. There's other things happening besides my illness.
a lot.
A lot happening in the sports world. MLB postseason. Let's start there. Big win for the Cubbies yesterday. 6-3 over the St. Louis Cardinals. They are now all tied up 1-1, headed back to Wrigley. Mets and Dodgers. Dodgers win 6 to. What was the final Dodger score? They had Mets had 5-2. And Mets looked like they had a shot. I was planning to come on and tell you. Excuse me, how much better the Mets would be. This is like going to be a thing.
John, is this going to be a problem?
This is going to be a serious problem. How much better the Mets look, but let's start with the Mets and Dodgers because that's where probably the most news is coming out of with the Chase Utley slide. It looked kind of dirty. I thought he could have hit the dirt earlier, but I understand breaking up the play. Tim, was it dirty?
Yeah, I think
Yes.
it was. I mean, there's no real way to word it any differently. That was a dirty play, and Chase Utley needs to be suspended. He needs to be suspended for the rest of the NLDS.
The rest of the NLDS. Is that a little harsh?
No,
I'd say 1 to 2 games.
Yeah,
No,
I'd say
it
just
was
the next game.
It was a dirty play. What you have to do, I'm all for playing baseball hard. I'm all for runners rounding third and trucking catchers. But this was deliberate. What you have to do.
But he was trying to break. I don't think his. Let me ask you this: would your opinion be changed if the Mets player wasn't hurt? Tejada wasn't hurt.
I mean, it's easy for me to say no, but I don't have a situation where he didn't break his leg to compare it to.
You can though. You could. He just breaks up the play.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe, but still, the slide. What you have to do in order to break up a double play, the rule is you have to slide before you hit the base. And he didn't. He slid next to the base, and he slid past it. He didn't even touch second base. He dove at Tejada's leg, and he connected, and now Tejada's done for the playoffs.
Right. No, I think like the play was his intention was to break up the play. His intention was not to break Tejada's leg. That was just a freak accident. Should he be suspended for a game? Absolutely. Should he be suspended the rest of the series? No.
Tejada's not playing.
Well, I mean, come on. All right, like John just said, if he didn't break his leg, would this have been a big deal? No.
I mean, you're right. It wouldn't have been. But the fact is, he broke his leg.
That was a freak accident.
But in all sports, we look in the NFL. Let's take, for example, let's say defensive end knocks out the quarterback. The quarterback is going to be out for 2 weeks. The defensive end is going to be out, or probably 2 to 4 weeks. The defensive end will be out for a week. They never. It's the crime. It's not eye for an eye in any sport for injury, causing an injury.
I know it's not, because Tejada Chase Utley should only be suspended for the NLDS, and if they can make it on, great, he can play. But the fact is, he needs to be punished, because what he did was so far from what you're supposed to do.
It's gamesmanship.
It's dirty, and the fact that he was even called safe on that play was just.
I mean, he was safe.
He was safe.
He missed the base. He didn't touch the base.
Yeah, but neither did Tejada.
Yeah.
So, what happens? He's just floating there. I mean,
right. Well, Tejada can't tag him, so he's safe. I mean, it's not.
I mean,
pretty,
neither Tejada didn't touch the base, and Utley didn't touch the base either. So none of them did. So
right, but then by Utley has, this is kind of bad, but Utley has the ability to go back and touch the base. Tejada doesn't.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So therefore, he's safe.
I guess you're true on that. So do you want to dive into other than the Utley slide, what is going to happen in the rest of the series?
Yeah. What do you think? Who's got it?
The Mets. The Mets have got it. The Mets have been the better team in both of these games. And they lost last night because of all the momentum that carried from the Tejada play when the Dodgers got new life, and now when they had a runner on first and second with one out, as opposed to just first with two, it gave the Dodgers some more attack in them. I also want to say I thought Terry Collins left Noah Syndergaard in that game way too long, especially when you have a pitcher when you have a rookie pitcher and he's pitching well, you don't really play with that sort of fire.
Right.
If you had taken that guy out after the 6th inning, have him go 6, have it 2-1, bring it to your bullpen. I like that chances. I like the Mets' chances in that game. But they just left this guy out there when this was his first start. And you're playing the Dodgers, who obviously, since it's the playoffs, are a playoff team and know how to win games. And I would have liked to see Collins give it to some fresh arms.
No, I think the Dodgers may have more of the momentum now because they've shown that they can hit off the Mets pitching and everything. And besides DeGrom, I mean, Harvey, they can easily hit off Harvey. He's not the same as he was, 2 years ago.
Harvey needs to prove himself tonight.
Right. So
there's a lot in the line for or tomorrow night, whatever it is.
So I mean, I would give not all the momentum, but I would say the Dodgers are the favorites right now, especially. Yeah, I mean, the Mets got the win that they needed, and they're going back to New York. But I mean, the Dodgers have the better lineup they have better hitting. They still have Greinke and Kershaw.
Kershaw finally pitched well in the postseason.
Exactly. I would take Greinke and Kershaw over DeGrom and Syndergaard and Harvey.
Tim gave me a funny look. He pitched well, and then the bullpen came in and kind of blew that one for them. But anyway, Game 3 is going to be, I think, make or break for the Mets because I think Matt Harvey has something to prove. He skipped that workout right before the postseason. He has this whole thing about how many innings he's going to pitch, if he's going to, be dropping out eventually at the playoffs because of his arm. He needs to go out and prove to his teammates, prove to everybody that he's still this, amazing pitcher and that he still can produce.
It's surprising to me, though, because going into the season, it was all, so much hype around Matt Harvey, and now he's the third pitcher in their rotation. That's just
Well,
surprising to me.
I don't know how much that has to do with Matt Harvey versus
I mean,
Syndergaard and
I think
DeGrom.
DeGrom is much better than Harvey, but I think he's better than Syndergaard. I would put him second. I would have put Harvey in the game last night.
Well, we will see. You're right, John. I am really interested in seeing Harvey because what you said was totally true. He was this sort of
He's the White Knight.
the
Or
white
the
knight,
Dark Knight, whatever.
Dark
they call it.
whatever, yeah, whatever they call him in New York. And he was a Cy Young candidate. And
This year?
no,
I was about to
when
say.
in his what year did he start the All-Star game? 2013.
Yeah, because he was out last year with Tommy John.
2013, he was the best pitcher in the National League, according to some people.
Yeah.
And he's sort of taken aback, but all will be forgotten if he comes in and lights out, and he's lights out in the playoffs.
Winning fixes everything, and especially winning in the postseason. Excuse me. What about the Cubs and Cardinals? The Cubs got a big win yesterday. I know you guys hate my Cubs, and I
Your Cubs.
Your Cubs.
Your Cubs.
I am claiming them.
What?
I'm claiming them
What
because
do you mean?
He's picking them up on waivers.
I'm hopping on the bandwagon because I had them as my lock of the century that they're going to win the World Series. So-
Oh, I guess you could do that.
and I said that before the wild card game.
Wow.
So I'm
Bold.
I'm I'm on the bandwagon, but I'm at the front of it. Give me something for that.
He's dangling from the back,
they're
ready to fall off at any moment.
I'm about to say as in we, the Chicago Cubs, are going back to Wrigley with Arrieta on the mound. I mean, I would feel pretty confident about that.
Yeah, I would be confident too, and I think the Cubs should be the favorites in Game 3 because, like you said, they're at Wrigley Field. Wrigley Field in the postseason, when they've already won 2 playoff games, which is more than they've won in the past 12 years. You know how people love their Cubs. That place will be rocking. You got the guy who should win the MVP, Jake Arrieta, on the mound. He was absolutely unhittable in that wild card game. So I really don't see how the Cardinals are going to win that game.
Mm-hmm.
However, I'm still thinking the Cardinals are going to take this series.
I don't only because the next 2 games are at Wrigley. Now take as much home field advantage, like momentum you want to and everything with that. But I mean, Arrieta's pitching the next game, and then I would definitely take Lester in the next game. I mean, he's still a great pitcher for them and everything. I mean, he lost in Game 1 of the series, but I mean, it's not like he played poorly, and John Lackey just played really great. So, I don't know. I would give the Cubs all the momentum. They're going to win the next 2 games and then play the winner of Dodgers and Mets.
I just think they're going to take their foot off the gas in Game 4,
Mm-hmm.
and the Cardinals are going to steal that game in Wrigley.
Oh, if the game goes back to St. Louis, it's over then. St. Louis will win.
I mean, people they don't give the Cardinals enough credit. There's a reason.
Cardinals get underrated every year.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there's a reason they've been to how many ever consecutive NLCSs. It's because they win in the playoffs. And when their backs are against the wall, that's when they're the strongest. And if you got them in a Game 4 situation and you even think about taking your foot off the gas and you think you've got the series won, they will win. Because if they win Game 4, it's an entirely different series. They have home field. You know how everybody is in St. Louis. They're baseball crazy.
Mm-hmm.
I'm still not concerned. I'm not worried.
Yeah,
Not
no,
worried.
the Cubs got this.
They got it. Let's touch on the AL real quick. Houston and Kansas City all tied up at one game apiece, and Texas has a pretty commanding 2-0 lead over Toronto, heading into Toronto, I believe. Correct?
No, they're going to Texas.
No, they're
Heading
going
back
to
to
Texas.
Texas. Excuse me. So, I know you're going to touch on this later. Do the Blue Jays get swept?
Yes, that's all I'm going to say. I will talk later in the show about it.
You'll talk.
Little teaser there.
Might that be something for a Stone Cold lock of the century of the week?
Maybe.
Stay tuned to find
It's
out.
at that point we need like one of those like atomic bomb sounds, just like.
No, I don't think the Jays are getting swept.
Think they pull one out?
I think they pull one out because who the Rangers are pitching with Just
Perez.
Yeah. He's only started 14 games this year.
Mm-hmm.
And he's a lefty, and that Blue Jays lineup is just filled with dominant right-handed hitters that Perez has to can't mislocate his pitches or the ball will be just crushed.
Mm-hmm.
So the Estrada's pitching for the for the Jays, and I think he's gonna save their season. He's gonna keep them alive for another game.
What about Houston and Kansas City? Houston's sticking around. Which
I thought Houston was going to sweep Kansas City, to be honest. I mean,
Really?
after that first game, I mean, it looked pretty bad for Kansas City. But Kansas City won their game, but, I mean, they lost the home field advantage now to Houston. I mean, 2 games in Minute Maid Park, you know, that little hill in the back.
they're getting rid of that. I can't believe that.
I
I
can't
love
believe
that.
that
I think
either.
that's like
That's
a
too
staple
bad.
of, you know, baseball and everything. But, I mean, it's in Houston. I don't know who's pitching for them,
Who's
Well-
pitching for Houston?
or either team.
It is
Is
Keuchel. It's Keuchel
Keuchel.
versus.
Well, there you go.
It
I mean,
is-
Houston's going to win Game 3, and then they're going to have all the momentum, and then,
Keuchel versus Edison Volquez.
yeah, no. Keuchel's going to win, and then Game 4, it'll probably be McCullers, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, so,
more
I mean,
than likely. It'll
more
be,
than likely. So.
unless they go back to
Casimir?
McHugh.
Oh, yeah, no.
I think they'll go with McCullers.
Yeah, so, I mean, I'd give all the momentum to Houston right now, so I'm picking Houston.
Yeah, I think you worded it wrong earlier that Houston is hanging around with the Royals. The Royals are hanging around with Houston.
think?
Houston's been the better
I mean,
team.
KC came in as the favorite.
I know, but these first 2 games, Houston has been the better team.
Houston's legit.
They are legit because what happened was they had such a huge lead. They sort of let up
Mm-hmm.
towards the end of the season, and then we didn't win the division anymore. We got to play in this wild card game. But the playoffs are a completely different season, and they still have this roster that's just filled with pitching, and it's filled with bats who can hit home runs and get on base. So even though Kansas City had the best record of the American League, Houston is a better team on paper.
Mm-hmm.
They have more everywhere. The Kansas City is just scrappy, which is why they're such a good postseason team. But I don't know how well Scrappy is going to do against Dallas Keuchel.
Mm-hmm.
As much as I want to say it, as much as I hate saying this because I'm not a big KC fan, I think all their fans are bandwagon fans, and I think
They are.
which
There's
they
no
are.
disagreeing here.
I think you can't completely discount them just based on their experience and based on what they did last year. I think this series could go 7 games. I wouldn't be
Five
surprised.
games.
5 games.
We'll see. We'll see.
NL
Sickness.
it can only go 5 games.
That's-
It's the DS. I think the cold's talking to you.
You're right.
He's missing a lung, all right? Get off his back.
I'm down one lung.
It's okay. I don't
I
hold
meant
it against
5
you.
games. We should almost do like how many like just things I get wrong in this show. Just like
Well, we're at 1.
a tally.
so-
We're at 1 right now. So by next week when we're on the air, we will have all new series to talk about.
Mhm.
Yeah.
How
Um,
exciting is that?
That is cool. Anyway,
Who's it gonna be?
that's-
I think
that's
we
what it is.
just made the picks, but let's just sort of
Recap.
just make it
recap,
official.
make it
recap.
official.
Who's in the NLCS?
Cubs, of course, naturally,
Naturally.
and Mets.
Tim.
Cardinals and Mets.
I'm going to go with the Cubs and the Dodgers.
Okay, wow, we all
We
got
all have
different.
different
Yeah, I
picks.
like that.
Wow.
ALCS, I like Houston, and give me
Texas or Blue Jays?
Jesus, Texas, please. Had a
Tim.
major memory for
I'm going with Houston, but I'm going Toronto.
Really?
I like that.
2
I like
games
that.
and on. I just think they're better. They're just better.
Once they
than,
can get Price back out there.
they're just better than
The Rangers.
the Rangers. And Price Price is interesting because he's been such a dominant regular season pitcher, but just in the playoffs, it's a whole different ball game, and he's sort of got Clayton Kershaw in his blood that he's not that great of a postseason pitcher.
Yeah.
Does that mean he's not going to be able to win games? No, but it might. You might not be facing a Cy Young candidate every time against him in the playoffs.
Right.
But again, Toronto, too much bats.
I don't know. I'm going with who's playing Houston and the Rangers because I just think that'd be super interesting because I mean those two teams battled for the AL West and now they have to play for a chance to go to the World Series and everything. I think that'd be super interesting.
All right, so
yeah, we're gonna take a quick break. Don't go anywhere though, because we have we're gonna talk a little college football after the break. We're gonna talk NFL headlines, NFL picks, and of course the lock of the century.
yeah, so stay tuned for that.
Well, there's something I've been meaning to say lately that you couldn't understand. How could I go so long just thinking you were with some other man? Pick up the groove and never let it go. Get on the floor but don't you let it show. Tell me what you want me to see. Pick up the sticks, I'll give a little bit. Give me a hint where we're going with this, and I can follow your lead. Set move, get on the floor and groove, babe, and show me what you can do, 'cause you got my eyes. So where you going with a look like that? One step forward and 2 steps back, but you keep taking your time. And the more I see, the less I know. Met you waiting for the show. Set move, get on the floor and groove, babe, and show me what you can do, 'cause you got my eye. Alright, you got my eye. Set move, get on the floor and groove, babe. Show me what you can do, 'cause you got my eyes, yeah. Pick up the groove and never let it go. Get on the floor but don't you let it show. Tell me what you want me to see, and pick up the sticks, I'll give a little bit. Give me a hint where we're going with this, and I can follow your lead. Set move, get on the floor and groove, babe, and show me what you can do, 'cause you got my eyes. Oh, I said move, get on the floor and groove, babe, and show me what you can do, 'cause you got my eyes.
And we're back. If you are listening to the podcast and want to listen to us live at Sunday mornings, 9 Central, 10 on the East, go on your phone and go to marquettewire.org and play it. For some reason, it doesn't really work that often on the computer. We will try to fix that. But phone, plug it into an auxiliary cable, listen to it, and enjoy.
This public service announcement has been brought to you by Viagra. I don't know. That was the first one.
That was by me.
By Tim. So an interesting day in college football yesterday. And always an. Oh, Phil's listening to us online. That's what that was.
Hey, it does work on your phone, guys.
What's happening?
Yeah. I wouldn't give you false information.
Nobody said you would, Tim.
An interesting day in college football, as always. Michigan, two big games I really want to get into. Two teams, I guess. Mostly, I want to get into this one. Is Michigan, ranked number 18 as of right now, with a very convincing 38-0 win over Northwestern yesterday. Number 13 Northwestern, I might add. Of course, you've got Jim Harbaugh in his first year. Nobody really thought they'd do this. This was their, I believe, was this their second time shutting out a team or something like that? Third time in a row.
Time in a row.
Which is just ridiculous. I guess first off, guys, how high will they climb in the polls this week?
They will jump. I mean, a lot of teams struggled this week, I thought. So I'd see them. They're at 18 now. They're going to at least get to 15. I mean, they're at least going to go up 3 spots. They've looked,
probably more.
Don't crack
than
the top 10.
I don't think they're going to crack the top 10.
No, I'd say they're just looking outside the top 10.
Yeah.
I think they cracked the top 10.
Really?
3 shutouts in a row.
Yeah.
I know
they all have been at home, though.
They've all been at home, and I know that it hasn't been necessarily against the steepest of competition, but, I mean, a shutout's a shutout.
And you also have to think, to help kind of John's case, not really mine, but
appreciate it.
Their one loss was to Utah. Utah is 5th in the country. Utah's probably going to be number 3 after this week. So, I mean, they had to play on the road at Utah and everything. They only lost by what, 7?
24-17.
Yeah, so they lost by 7 points. They lost by exactly 7 points. They hung in there. It was their first game. They didn't know exactly what kind of offense they were and everything. I mean, they had their quarterback throw 50 passes, something like that. Now they're kind of more of a balanced offense. So, I mean, yeah, no, Michigan could definitely crack the top 10, but I don't see it happening.
Are they for real, Phil?
Oh, they are for real, Tim.
I mean,
they play Michigan State next week.
At home.
At home.
Again. Mean, is Michigan for real in the sense that they can win 9 and 10 games? Yes. Are they for real in that they're going to be a national championship contender? No. No, they're not. This team still don't have that 38-point deceive you. Northwestern did not show up for that game at all. You could tell right away the opening kickoff was returned for a touchdown. Michigan's offense doesn't have any players on it. Their quarterback...
they put up 38 points yesterday.
I just told you not to have the 38 points deceive you.
It's deceiving us.
It was
38 points is 38 points.
It was one of them was a kickoff return.
Okay, that's still 31 points.
31
one of them was a pick 6.
That's still okay.
And Northwestern didn't show up for the game. And
defense wins championships.
I know they have a good defense, but if they don't have a good enough...
the last team to blank three people in a row was?
No.
I believe it was 2012 Alabama.
Ooh.
Yeah, 2012 Alabama. No, but I still...
What did 2012 Alabama do?
They won it all.
Just saying.
History repeats itself.
Okay. I'll give you Michigan will win 9 games, but the 2 games that they're gonna maybe be exposed next week. Connor Cook, have they played a quarterback that's really good? No, I mean
Michigan State's asking to lose. They
lost to Rutgers yesterday because the Rutgers quarterbacks they beat Rutgers, but they beat Rutgers because the Rutgers quarterback spiked the ball on 4th down to end the game.
I know, but
Come on.
Michigan is not going to sneak up on Michigan State. You don't think that right now Mark D'Antonio is telling his team, everybody thinks you're going to lose this game, Michigan's the hottest team, show them how good we are? No, they're going to be up for that game.
It's in the Big House.
Mm-hmm.
I think Michigan State is asking to lose. And then on top of that, after they beat Michigan State, they have Ohio State after that in the Big House again. That's
gonna be a great game.
That's gonna be a fantastic. If either of those two games were on the road, I would have a differing opinion, and I would maybe side with Tim. But both those games at home in that environment, with this team and this defense, I gotta like Michigan.
I mean, they have not played any explosive offensive players. And Michigan State, Connor Cook, top 10, potentially top 5 NFL draft pick, who, based on where he goes, you must think that he can throw against an NFL defense. So, and the best player Michigan's had to play so far is the quarterback from BYU, who, sure, he's okay, but he's a freshman. And
all he's done is throw 2 Hail Marys.
Yeah, exactly. And he hasn't
done anything. He's thrown the ball up twice, and the receiver came down with it.
Their best win is against BYU, who, I mean, let's look at some of their results. Had to beat Nebraska on a Hail Mary, beat Boise State at home, played UCLA, who's vastly overrated, and then they came to the Big House and got shelled. So, BYU as your best win? Actually, no.
I would say Northwestern.
I'm sorry. Northwestern. That's a decent win, but they didn't show up. And
okay, but you still scored. All right, I did the math in my head. They scored 20. The offense scored 24 points, and they scored it on a good Northwestern defense. You could say they didn't show up, but the defense is still a good defense. So, I mean, you scored 24 points on them. You have obviously a decent amount of offense, and if Michigan's defense is gonna hold teams to under 10, then
Harbaugh is going to have these boys ready to go for Michigan State. He's going to have these boys ready to go for Ohio State.
Ohio State is going to be a very, very, very tough game for them to win.
I'm not saying it's easy, but I'm saying they're going to win it.
I don't think so. I'm still thinking Ohio State's going to win that game because
I wish I could lock it down now.
This is going to be
my lock of the week right now.
This is going to be a decent segue. Watch this.
Timmy segue over here.
Yeah, hold on.
He's setting up his segue.
So,
segue Sirota.
Ohio State, sure, they've looked not very good in some games, but it's a rivalry game. And people show up for a rivalry game. They show up. And you know what was a rivalry game yesterday? Texas-Oklahoma.
How about that?
Well done, Tim. Well done, Segue Sirota.
This is, again, the atomic bomb sound.
This is why we pay you the big bucks. This is why.
I'm missing those checks. Where'd they end up?
Check your mailbox.
Check your mailbox.
Trust me, I do.
Texas with the what a whirlwind of a week for Texas. People calling for Charlie Strong's head down there in Austin.
They were tweeting in the locker in halftime saying, "When can I transfer?"
24-10 win over 24-17, excuse me, win over Oklahoma yesterday. Huge win. I'm surprised that Texas didn't blow it on special teams per usual. But I don't know. You guys have anything to say about this game?
I didn't watch it. First of all, number 2.
Oklahoma couldn't tackle. I'll tell you that much.
Yeah, they really couldn't.
I just saw the end result, and then the team was like picking up Charlie Strong, like they just won the Super Bowl and everything. Which, I mean, it's probably the biggest game Texas is gonna have all year. I think they're not gonna go to a bowl game or anything. So
did Charlie Strong save his job?
Yes.
Yeah.
This is it's like the Michigan Ohio State rivalry. You could win 4 games, but if you beat Ohio State, or in this case you beat Oklahoma, then it's all forgiven.
All is forgiven.
I think this will turn around Texas because they've been so close in most notably the Cal and Oklahoma State games. I mean, they laid an egg against TCU, which it brought the team into a world spin. Is that a word?
Whirlpool.
World spin.
World spin.
Spin's a word.
But no.
Get that trending.
Oh, yeah. Hashtag world spin.
Hashtag.
But
That could be on a T-shirt.
they played.
Just Tim going like this. I can't get over that.
They played.
Segway Sirota, and then whirl spin. I'm just spitballing ideas. I'm trying to make us rich, guys. Sorry.
Trying
continue.
to talk about sports.
Yeah. Sorry, that's the point of the show, right?
Yeah, it is.
My bad.
I think we're categorized as a sports show.
That's true.
Entertainment show.
We are. We're more of a. Yeah, we're sports with a sprinkle of entertainment.
Light
Another
sprinkle.
good T-shirt. Like a cupcake and like. Yup.
Just entertainment sprinkles.
Moneybags hand over here. Just thinking of great ideas. No big deal. So what were you saying?
Tim, were you talking?
Were you trying to say something?
I was trying to say that they sort of played for their coach. I feel like,
Okay.
and Oklahoma, for some reason, didn't think that thought they were just gonna run right over Texas, and Texas got up for the game. As I said, they played for their coach, and that celebration they had, I think they totally deserved that.
Yeah.
Because they'd been through turmoil, and people were saying this is the darkest moment in Texas history after they lost to TCU. Get rid of Charlie Strong. All the players should transfer. And then they just show up, and they not only beat Oklahoma, but they knocked them out. That was a knockout right hook.
Yeah. Well, does this change Texas's season though, or is this just
This
another
season's
win?
lost for them, isn't it? I mean,
It's lost in the sense that they are.
Do they make a bowl game? Does this like change their round and they just go on a winning streak?
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah, I can see that
think so. I think they have the chops to go 6-6 with. I mean, they got Baylor on the schedule, and they got a trip to Morgantown against West Virginia, which is never easy. But they beating Oklahoma is not easy either.
I was never really sold on Oklahoma. What's Oklahoma's biggest win? Tennessee?
Yeah. No. Thanks for touching on Oklahoma. They gave up something like 330 yards
To Texas.
on that rush on the ground. So, and I am not sure if that was due to the Texas running back, and I don't think it was. So,
What's the Texas running back's name? Anybody know?
good question.
Texas running back.
But teams are going to look at this now and be like, all right, every time we play Oklahoma, we're just going to run the ball.
Yeah.
And we're going to run the ball the whole time until they could show they could stop it. That's what Texas did,
And it
and they couldn't.
worked out fine for them.
So
Oklahoma's in some trouble.
in some trouble. Yeah. Another good Saturday in college football. The other game. Well, actually, I want to touch on one thing real quick.
Okay.
Did you guys see the picture of Charlie Strong after the game pointing?
No, I didn't.
Okay. Well, go look at it. His finger. I think it's the angle, but his finger is like abnormally long. It's really, really weird.
Charlie
there were some funny memes
Strong
about it.
pointing yesterday.
I'm sure you'll find it. It was him wearing like the weird cowboy hat.
It's Texas. Those things aren't weird.
Well, this one was weird. It was like gold. I don't even know.
Yeah,
I'll try to
can't-
find it.
I can't find it.
It's on the
John.
Twitter sphere. Something that I'm just scrolling through Twitter here.
I see
isn't
him
as-
wearing one.
Somewhere in there. This isn't as good as Tim's segue, but I guess we kind of. Well, we have one more.
Oh, I found it. Oh my god.
Right? Isn't that? Yeah.
Yeah, that's long.
I think it's the angle.
I'd
but-
encourage any viewers to. What
What did you Google?
What did you
I
Google?
googled Charlie Strong pointing gold cowboy hat, and it's
Yeah.
like the fourth picture.
Yeah. You'll know what we're talking about when you see it.
Yeah.
It's quite abnormal.
Maybe we'll tweet that. We'll tweet that out
Tweet
for
that.
you.
Yeah, follow at War of Civility.
At War of Civility on the.
We have to start opening the show with the mentioning
we,
of our Twitter.
we should,
Yeah.
so we can get more than. Tim doesn't even. So
He's
Tim
not even following us.
Tim controls the account, and he doesn't even follow Phil or I on Twitter.
Yeah.
That's how desperate we are for followers. So
We gotta have
please,
a good follow to following ratio.
I respect that, but I'm a little hurt. I'm not gonna lie.
It's okay. Maybe if we get up to, let's see, if we get up to 10 followers, I'll follow you guys.
All right,
Okay.
sounds good.
Thanks.
So Phil's family, please go follow, make Twitters and follow us.
Family doesn't have a Twitter.
Make them.
I'll
Make
make
'em,
one
make
for
'em.
them.
Yeah,
My
make
mom's got a Twitter.
Really? Why
Yeah.
isn't she following?
I don't know. I
You
don't.
should feel insulted.
Your mom has a Twitter and you don't, Tim.
No.
Your mom's more hip than you.
Yeah, she's hip to be square.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
That's something a non-hip person says.
Anyway, do we want to touch on the TCU Kansas State game?
Yeah, I think.
Wait, real quick before we.
Yeah,
maybe
we gotta get to the NFL.
We do have to get to the NFL, but did you see the video? I don't even know if it was real, but if you follow Total Frat Move on Instagram,
Who
I'd follow
who
them.
follows
they
that?
post some
John?
funny stuff. But there's literally this video. I'll pull it up for you guys of them changing. I don't even know who number 87 on Kansas State is, but they like the Water Boys come over and they pull off his uniform and he like has a new number all of a sudden. It's wild. I don't know if it was real or not. But anyway,
weird. So,
there's
Going
actual-
back to the actual game and the stuff that doesn't involve the Water Boys,
I mean, I'm gonna show you this video, but yeah, keep going.
TCU is playing with serious fire. They absolutely should have lost to Texas Tech. So people are saying all they want about Ohio State and how they were this golden child coming into the regular season.
That's funny.
And how they're not playing, they're being the Florida State. No. The Florida State of this year is TCU. They got left out of the playoff and they pounded Ole Miss in the bowl game, and they're saying to themselves, "Oh, well, they know they left us out. We beat Ole Miss. They're a good team, and this year we're just going to run over everybody." And that's just not happening because I don't really know why, but they're just not playing well, and they won the game last night because of Trayvon Boykin, who is
Him and Fournette.
maybe
are probably.
if not Leonard Fournette, he's the best player in the country.
Yeah, I wouldn't disagree with that. I mean, you said TCU had a fire in them to, with all these like late game wins and everything, but
No, I said they're playing with fire.
no, they're
not
playing with fire.
They're not playing on fire.
Oh,
You can't play
so you're
on
making.
fire, Tim.
Oh, okay, so that's a
It would hurt.
negative statement.
It would
about
hurt
them.
too much.
Yes.
Oh, then I agree with Tim. Yeah, no, I mean, you go on the what was it against Texas Tech? You go on the road against Texas Tech and you have to pull out a late game win, and then you go on the road against Kansas State and you have to do the same thing. Things aren't looking good for TCU.
They're
still
still
good.
they're still undefeated.
They're still
That's what you gotta
undefeated,
look
but
at.
I mean, those are two bad teams that you have to pull off like bad wins against. I mean, there's no such thing as a bad win. Those are bad wins. So
But I mean,
They've got enough.
they're not going to drop out of the top 5.
I know. At the end of the day, though, it doesn't. Those games don't matter because they won.
Especially now with the playoff, like the BCS and like the computers aren't analyzing how much you won to a bad team by. So
Yeah, they have enough. Their defense isn't great, but they have enough offense to stay with it. We're gonna take another quick break. On the other side, NFL headlines, NFL picks. Interesting tweet brought up. Someone's foot may be lost due to a MRSA infection. We'll have more on that when we come back. Don't go anywhere.
What's all the smoke you use to cover up your eyes? Throw up your arms. try to laugh at the easier lines. I want to rebel because it's too hard to climb. Settled into smoke and feeling too numb to cry. Here's one last chance to keep from passing your time with that same old
Don't touch that dial.
I hate when people do that.
You're listening to Marquette Radio.
Welcome back to the War of Civility episode.
Love Homer Simpson.
That's
Love
my
that.
house theme is The Simpsons.
Love that. Love that sweeper.
Great sweeper there by Tim. Great choice as always. Our producer Tim Sirota. Sweeper Tim. Sweeper Sirota.
Sweeping the competition.
Whirl swirl sweeping Sirota.
Sandy
Yes.
shells, shells by the seashore.
So I
That was good, Phil.
had a little teaser. If you were interested, I just saw a tweet and thought it was wild that Daniel Fells could lose his foot due to a MRSA infection. So doctors are saving to keep his foot. They're fighting for the foot. Ian Rappaport tweeted about that. So
Good luck to his foot.
So good luck to Daniel Fells' foot. We shouldn't be laughing about it, but it's kind of a funny. It's not funny. It's not funny at all. But I feel horrible.
Losing, having to get amputations is never fun.
No, it's horrible. Actually, I shouldn't laugh. I feel bad about that. I apologize for that.
Yeah, if you lose a hand, you can get a hook. I mean, that's kind of funny.
Hooks are cool.
Hooks are
Get
cool.
an eye patch.
Anyway, so recapping a little bit of the week in the NFL. Greg Hardy's coming back this week. He had a 4-game suspension for domestic abuse, and it shouldn't have been 4 games, guys. I mean, he should be out longer. If you've read anything about the situation, it was really bad. I don't think he was. They settled out of court, correct?
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, that's
The charges against him got dropped.
They did get
if I remember
dropped, yeah.
Correct.
But I mean, some of the police report stuff, and it was really nasty. And I guess why he was really in the news this week in his first press conference or his first media appearance since being suspended, he made some pretty bad references to women. He said he's going to come out guns blazing. He was talking about women being attractive or not. He talked about hoping Gisele's sisters come to the game. I don't know if you guys know Katie Nolan. She has a show called Garbage Time on Fox Sports 1. She had a great take on it. If you haven't seen that, go look it up. My thing with it was, I don't mind him. What he said was horrible, and no one should say that, but I don't mind him saying it because I want to know how much of a scumbag some of these players are that I'm rooting for. So I don't
I'm not rooting for Greg Hardy.
I'm not either. But I'm saying people, like, if a player, I root for the Patriots. If a player on the Patriots was an absolute scumbag, which none of them are because
They're all Saints.
I would want to know that. So I'm not rooting for him. So I'm happy that the Cowboys PR stinks and wasn't all over that. And kind of the other big storyline around that was later in the day, Roger Goodell was asked about it, and he said he didn't know about it. So, I mean, you're the commissioner of the league.
Roger Goodell seems to not know about a lot of things.
And a little too much about some things.
Right. It's just ridiculous. So I don't know if you guys want to get into that too much.
I would love to.
Okay.
I have a big take on this. I'd like to start with making a comparison to the dirty plays of Greg Hardy and the dirty plays of Ndamukong Suh. Suh, I kind of like Suh because even when he was, like kicking guys in the groin and everything in the middle of Thanksgiving,
Happy Thanksgiving.
It's just, I mean, he's fiery, and you kind of like that in a player. Like, I mean, it wasn't like, good sportsmanship and everything, but I mean, you could tell that he wanted to be out there. Greg Hardy, what you do off the field and everything, if you do dirty stuff off the field like Greg Hardy did, That's horrible. He should not be playing this year at all. I don't care if the charges got dropped. If that police report is even kind of accurate, go read it. Go read the police report. If it's even kind of accurate, he should be arrested.
We're giving you a lot of homework to do.
Exactly.
Look up the Charlie Strong picture. Read the Greg Hardy police report.
Exactly. It's bad. And
follow us on Twitter at War of Civility.
At War of Civility. We'll have your checklist there of what you need to do. But it's just bad. And the NFL needs to. Roger Goodell is sometimes the harshest and the weakest person on planet Earth. He dishes out these horrible penalties. For Deflategate, he was going to give Tom Brady what? Four games.
Same amount as Greg Hardy.
The same amount as Greg Hardy. You're telling me supposed underinflating of football is the same as doing horrible things to another person? That is insane. And then he goes off on these, and then the same thing with Greg Hardy, he gives him four games for that. That's despicable. He is a bad commissioner, and I think we're all in agreement here that he needs to step down. He is the worst commissioner in all sports right now.
I mean, the only reason Ray Rice isn't in the league right now is because there was a video.
Yeah.
How sick is that? There needed to be a video. A video.
Not even a video of, the first video of him dragging her out of the elevator. No, they needed the video of him actually punching her. That is horrifying.
Right. That's the most sickening part about it, is that it became an outrage after the video. This should have been an outrage before the video,
right.
That he got only 2 games for hitting a woman. That's not okay.
Good job to the Ravens for just cutting him completely.
But they cut him after the video,
The Ravens didn't... The Ravens saw this
but they
video
still
too.
cut him.
Yeah,
but they suspended it for two games. They should have cut him right away. The Ravens love these guys who commit these crimes.
They do. They love murderers. Ed Reed has killed a guy. There's no doubt in my mind.
I mean, Terrell Suggs
he's done some shady stuff.
Did he something involving bleach? He poured it on somebody else?
Well, I don't know about that. Doesn't surprise me.
So, thank you to TMZ for leaking the video, or we would have had Ray Rice still in the league. But I mean, we could talk about Roger Goodell for the entire.
We could do a whole show. We could do a Roger Goodell.
We could do a whole month show.
We really could. And past, once the Super Bowl ends, we might have a Roger Goodell show. So so stay tuned.
When sports has kind of died down and everything, it's just like preseason baseball going on. We'll get into Roger Goodell.
We'll lay into him a little bit.
But what kind of impact does Hardy have on the game today? Because they're playing the Patriots.
Zero
impact?
Zero impact. No, I actually take that back. He has more impact for the Patriots playing better because he's fired them up, especially Tom Brady. Tom Brady's going to throw 5 touchdowns, believe it. I can see it.
I think that you can't... 100% agree with Phil. He's given them poster board material that those quotes are on the whiteboard in that locker room. Bill has these boys ready to go. You can't he's a very good defensive player, and you have to game plan for him. So I would think the Patriots are ready for him, and they're gonna have to pay extra attention to him. So whether he does anything or not, though, he's causing an effect because they have to game plan for him. Any player you have to game plan for has an effect on the game.
And the Patriots this year, in their three games, they haven't really played a very good pass rusher. The Bills had a very good defensive line, but not necessarily guys who are gonna get at the quarterback like, say, Greg Hardy will. But history has shown that the Patriots have sort of been able to take away the pass rush, especially in games against the Miami Dolphins with Cameron Wake, who is recognized as one of the best pass rushers in the NFL. I can't really recall a game where he took it over, and that's why I don't think Greg Hardy is really going to change this game all that much, except they probably, like John said, will have to game plan for him.
He'll have a couple tackles and everything, but he's not going to do anything spectacular, I don't feel like, because, I mean, like you guys have both said that, they're going to game plan around him. He's going to probably see a couple double teams and everything, so, yeah, no, I don't see making much impact at all for the Cowboys, at least.
The other big news out of the NFL today, this is pretty new, I think, just posted on ESPN. Sources are telling Adam Schefter that the Dolphins are inquiring about Sean Payton possibly becoming their head coach. Sean Payton does have 2 years left on his contract, so it would probably be a trade type of situation. No word on whether Sean Payton or the Saints are even interested in entertaining that idea. But an interesting, storyline. The one thing here from me is trading for a coach is so weird. I know the Red Sox have done it in the past. The Celtics have been involved in the trade.
That's how John Gruden got to the Buccaneers.
That's how the Bill Belichick was a trade.
Yeah.
Bill Belichick.
I mean, yeah, John Farrell, Bill Belichick, Doc Rivers, all trade. It's just, that's so, like, they don't.
Yeah, it is weird.
They're not helping you on the court or floor or on the field or whatever.
You could trade for GM. You could trade for anybody.
Oh, I know. I'm not.
Trade for the water boy.
You probably could.
Who's the best water boy in the league? What team has the best water boys?
The Grizzlies water boys are really nice.
Are they?
Yeah, they gave me a little Gatorade packet one time and everything, but they had like the Gatorade symbol crossed out because like they're not like the Grizzlies aren't affiliated. They're affiliated with like Powerade or something like that.
Oh, really?
But they didn't use Powerade.
So I guess just the concept of trading for a coach is weird because you can't really there's no value. You can't be like, this coach is worth the first round draft pick like you can a player, because there's no real stat. I mean, you have their overall record, but it's weird. Would you trade for Sean Payton if you were the Dolphins?
Of course. Of course I would. The Dolphins are a lost franchise now.
Let me flip the question.
Okay.
If you're the Saints, would you give up Sean Payton? I guess that's kind of the more interesting storyline here.
Yeah, I mean, obviously the Dolphins would trade for him, considering they just fired Joe Philbin, who didn't do anything.
Yeah, he needed to go.
Yeah. You are correct. He needed to go.
You made a point about that the very first show, about how he could get fired in the middle of the season.
I don't know how long the ALDS is. I make a lot of mistakes, but I do know a thing or two. Blind squirrel finds a nut every once in a while.
Yeah, there you go. No, you're right. Team was totally lifeless. Great decision to fire Joe Philbin. And you want to get life back into your team? Hire Sean Payton. You saw it when he was out for the Bounty Gate. The Saints didn't really play up to their usual ways. And when he came back, they were a lot better.
That was another Roger Goodell mistake, I felt like.
All right.
I don't know about that, but we'll get into that. We can get into that later. That's
yeah.
Phil, if you're the Saints, do you give up Sean Payton?
Who are you going to trade if you're the Dolphins for Sean Payton? Are you going to get rid of Sue? Are you going to get rid of Sue?
No,
it'd be draft
no way.
Picks.
It's going to the draft pick.
I think if I were the Saints, I would strongly consider maybe getting Ryan Tannehill for Sean Payton.
That's not going to happen. If coach is getting traded is for like a couple of draft picks. It's not for players.
Well,
I wouldn't even want Tannehill. He's so overrated.
But I mean,
I don't know.
He's pretty good. If you give him some talent around him and everything, and he'd be a good like successor to Drew Brees.
He wasn't even that good in college. He had a decent year. He was a wide receiver that could throw the ball far. They stuck him at quarterback.
If I'm New Orleans, I think I would listen to offers for Sean Payton, and I would probably end up moving him because the Drew Brees Sean Payton era in New Orleans has got to end. It's sort of
but does it need to end with Payton leaving, or does it need to end with Brees leaving?
Both of them.
See, I think
they're leave at the same time.
I think Brees' time is up, but I think for the Saints, I think your most valuable asset is Sean Payton, because you look at successful teams in the NFL right now, and what every successful team has in common is a good quarterback coach combo.
Seattle Seahawks.
Russell Wilson, Pete Carroll.
Pete Carroll is, Pete
Carroll's been the head coach of the Seahawks.
I don't love Pete Carroll. I don't love Pete Carroll at all, but he's a good coach.
No, he's not.
This is his fifth year? This is his fifth year coaching the Seahawks. He's been to the playoffs 3 times.
Super Bowl the past 2 years, and he has a Super Bowl ring already.
He can't call. He doesn't. He has the most talented team in the NFL.
He built it.
That's great. He's had fantastic drafts.
That makes him a good coach.
Exactly.
But his in-game management is brutal.
You're basing that off the Super Bowl?
I'm basing it off of the Super Bowl that
he had one bad. I don't even hate the fact that he was thinking past there. The
Yeah.
play itself was a bad play, but the pass, I mean, throw him off. I mean, that's not a horrible.
They didn't want Marshawn Lynch to be the hero of the Super Bowl, the way he acted in the pregame. Like,
I think they wanted to win the Super Bowl. I don't think they cared who's the hero.
We can debate that play till the day.
And he was also before he coached the Seahawks, he coached the Patriots and the Jets, and he was the coach between Bill Parcells and Bill Belichick in New England, and he sunk that franchise back into the ground.
I mean, he did bring them to the playoffs one year. Let's not forget that. And not every. Yeah, he did.
He did?
Yes. And let's not act like. I mean, coaches can get better. Players can get better. Because he was bad in the past doesn't mean he's not good now. He's a very good coach. I would take Pete Carroll over a lot of other coaches in the NFL right now.
he's a top 5 NFL coach right now.
Easily.
No way, but
Who do you have ahead of him? Bill Belichick,
He's
Let me
probably
see.
2.
Sean Payton.
I wouldn't even put Peyton as 2.
Oh yeah.
I'd put Sean
I'm
Payton.
taking
Maybe not 2. I'd put him in the top 5.
You're putting me really on the spot. I didn't realize we'd be talking about Pete Carroll.
I can't
This is your doing. You brought this up.
Yeah, well, I mean, coach quarterback combination, Seattle of the good team.
Bruce Arians is a good coach.
I'd say Bruce Arians. I'd say he's a good coach.
Chuck Pagano, maybe.
I don't know about
No.
that. Colts are another team that's interested in Peyton.
Mm-hmm.
Interestingly enough, but Mike McCarthy, Aaron Rodgers.
Oh, that's a good one.
I mean, you look at successful teams. You need to have a good coach, and then you need that elite quarterback. And once you have those two things, really you just build out from there, and really you can do anything. I.e. Patriots.
I mean, yeah, if Pete Carroll coached up to how he should have coached, there's no doubt that Seattle should have won that Super Bowl. The Patriots beat the Seahawks because Belichick just out-coached the daylights of him.
I mean, you look at that I mean, they got lucky on that catch. I mean, that was a remarkable catch they
Right.
made at the end there, and that set up that final goal line stand. So I don't necessarily say I don't. Pete Carroll's a good coach. He's not my favorite person. I think he annoys me, but that man is a good coach. I mean, he creates that. You could have the best. You could have the best players out there, and you could go out there and they could underperform. He gets these guys hyped up. He builds a good locker room, with good team chemistry, and they go out and they do well. Look at the Eagles, for example. I mean, they should be winning football games with that team. Chip Kelly's not a good NFL coach,
He isn't.
and they're not winning football games.
I'm not saying Chip Kelly's a good coach.
No,
But
but we're
my-
just bringing it up.
I'm bringing up the point where that's a talented roster, and they're not winning games.
That roster's not nearly as talented as Seattle is.
I'm not saying it's but it's my point being that you can have as much talent as you want. It doesn't mean you're going to win
That
football
offense,
games.
the Eagles' offense should be putting up at least 30 points a game, and they're not. So
If you have me coach Seattle, I can bring them to the playoffs.
No, you couldn't.
Absolutely.
no, you
No,
couldn't.
you
Give the-
absolutely
just
couldn't.
give the ball to Marshawn Lynch. And,
He's hurt now, and they're winning now.
Well, he'll be back in a week or two. He's
when he
not.
comes back, put Tim at coach.
Yeah.
I don't agree with that.
So, well, we sort of went way off topic with the
What were
Whether or
we talking
not-
about Peyton and Miami?
Peyton and Miami, yeah, and why I said that it might be time for the Saints to sort of let Sean Payton go, and it has nothing to do with Sean Payton. It has to do with them just moving on.
They're in rebuild mode, but I think to restart that franchise, I mean, you need to have a good head coach. I mean, the worst thing you can do for an NFL team, for your franchise, is have constant turnover and have a new head coach every year. I mean, look at your Raiders. They haven't had
Oh, the
stability
Raiders.
at the head coaching position they have a new coach every year. I mean, how do you expect to build a team, a program, if you don't have the same coach? You have a new playbook every year.
Jack Del Rio, in my opinion, now we're going off topic again, but I just want to make this point about my Raiders. Jack Del Rio is a steal for a head coach. You look at what he did in Jacksonville and everything. He made the playoffs consistently with, the Jaguars. So, I mean, and the fact that he wasn't a head coach for, 6 years, nobody wanted him.
He did decline, though. He brought them up, and then they just kind of dropped off. I don't know. Should we get into picks?
Yeah,
Yeah.
hold on a second.
Yeah.
Super Bowl. Peyton Manning.
Wow. Wow.
I am going Denver.
It's snapped over the head of Peyton Manning. A flag is down, and the ball's out of the back of the end zone. It's a safety to start this game as Manning wasn't ready.
Illegal motion. Offense number 18, moving forward to the snap. Penalties decline. Safety.
All right, how about that?
Yeah, how about it?
Is that the second week in a row we got that to work?
Second week. We got it twice last week, so if you missed that show, I'm sorry.
All right, let's get into it. Tim, Seattle versus Cincinnati. Game of the week.
It is the game of the week. And I've been going back and forth on this game. And
Why is this a 12 o'clock start?
I don't know. That's pretty interesting. The game's in Cincinnati, correct? Yeah. Oh, of course it is. Of
The
course.
Sunday night game stinks too tonight. Giants,
Oh,
49ers.
it's so boring.
Yeah.
I'm not interested in
But
that. I mean, I'll watch it.
the Bengals are such a good early season team, and especially when they're at home. And Seattle, when Seattle loses, it's when they have to come east and they have to play early. And there's no Marshawn Lynch today. That just really, without Lynch, that offense is so limited. You saw it against
They
Detroit.
haven't been using Lynch a lot this year, though.
I mean, but he's out, so you can't even use him as really an option. And the entire game relies on the shoulders of Russell Wilson. And again, Cincinnati is just too good of a home team early in the season. I got to go with the Bengals in this game.
John?
I like the Bengals as well. Yeah, I guess going off Tim's point a little bit, without Marshawn Lynch, I don't think that it's one less thing you have to game plan for, and so Cincinnati.
AJ Green has been just
he's coming off a very good week last week.
he's been playing very, very well this season.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I kind of had Seattle, and then you guys made some really good points. So I'm going to change it and go with Cincinnati. It's at home, first of all. It's a noon kickoff. AJ Green's really good. Marshawn Lynch isn't there, so Bengals. John, Rams and Packers.
This one is, I think, the most interesting game to me because you don't know what Rams team you're getting.
Mm-hmm.
You can get the Rams of last week where they run all over the Cardinals and they beat them, or you can get the Rams of 2 weeks ago where they don't even look like an NFL team. You don't. So we'll see we'll see which Rams team shows up. I'm gonna go Packers here, but I think it's a coin flip.
Mm-hmm. Tim?
The line on this game was pretty interesting to me. I believe. Let me just get it up right here. Hold on a second. It was the Packers were right now a 9.5 point favorite.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's a pretty generous line, and I think St. Louis is gonna cover that game because, like John said,
Who's going to win, Tim?
Green Bay.
Green Bay, okay.
But like John said, you don't really know what St. Louis team is going to show up.
Mm-hmm.
I think I have a decent idea, and I'm expecting to see a pretty good Rams defense,
Especially after last week.
Yeah, and you sort of can see it with that St. Louis when they play a good team, when they play a good offensive team, that defense plays up to snuff. It's when they play teams like Washington,
Right.
and they sort of let them hang around, and not even let them hang around. They let them win, and I just don't think that the Packers are gonna sort of sneak up on them. But Rodgers has been playing just lights out.
Right.
Maybe the first quarter MVP, him or Tom Brady.
Mm-hmm.
So, vintage Rodgers. Too much in this game.
Right. I don't really think it matters what Rams team shows up because, like Tim kind of mentioned a little bit, Aaron Rodgers is playing, and he's playing at home. Do you want to know the last time he threw an interception at home was?
2013.
2012, actually.
2012?
Yeah.
I was gonna say 08.
Oh, wait.
It seems like it's been like. I think he's thrown like 7 interceptions his entire career at Lambeau or something like that. He doesn't turn the ball over. The Packers offense is really doing phenomenal things, especially without Jordy Nelson this year. So, I mean, the Rams defense could make it interesting, but I still have Green Bay.
Plus, the strength of the Rams defense is defensive line.
Mm-hmm.
They probably have the best defensive line in football. And the strength of Green Bay's offense is obviously Aaron Rodgers,
Mm-hmm.
and he throws the ball. So Eddie Lacy, we'll see
Yeah.
if he can even do anything.
Right.
And if he can't, it's not the end of the world for Green Bay because Rodgers is the best quarterback in the NFL, and he's going to throw the ball around the yard.
All right, next game. Tim, your Patriots versus the Brandon Weeden-led Cowboys.
You know, at the beginning of the season, I was looking at this game. Like, this might be a game the Patriots would lose.
Well, I mean, if you have Tony Romo and Des
Hold
Bryant.
on, John. Put the guns down.
Timothy.
He's so violent.
Timothy.
Well, I was just building it up.
I'm going to
Of
put
course.
your mother on the phone. Tim's
Yeah.
being very rude.
Tim's being mean again.
Yeah.
Tim, if you don't behave, you're gonna have to go to bed early tonight. And no bedtime stories.
No, Mom.
See what she says to you, John, if you call her and tell her I'm being mean to you.
Who are you?
Yeah, that'll probably be it.
I'll probably start the conversation. Yeah.
No, but I thought after Tony Romo and Des Bryant went down, Brandon Weeden would be fine, and because he'd play his offensive line, and they'd be able to win some games. But that New Orleans game convinced me they're just not that good without Romo and.
It shows
Des.
how much Tony Romo actually means to them.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
The Patriots. The way to beat the Patriots is by throwing the football, and Brandon Weeden isn't gonna do that as well as Tony Romo. So, I just gotta go with the Patriots in this game.
You got to go Patriots. The Cowboys are way too banged up to really put up a fight. I think Greg Hardy's just added more fuel to the fire. Brady already has so much to prove, and now he's got even more to prove. Yeah, you go Patriots on this one.
Yeah, I said Tom Brady would throw 5 touchdowns and rub it in Greg Hardy's face, and then hey, I think Tom Brady may run for a touchdown, and then get all up in Greg Hardy's face and everything like he did Richard Sherman.
Awesome.
Oh yeah,
He's gonna run for a touchdown.
Oh, yeah.
How many yards?
3.
3 yards.
Yeah.
That would be the longest run of his career. That was
Yeah.
that was a joke. I think he's.
No,
He ran for the Bears. Remember that 20-yard
I do.
run?
He ran it. He juked Brian Urlacher. It was great.
I have my Brian Urlacher fat head in my room right now. Yeah. All right.
What's the next one, Phil?
John, Denver at Oakland.
I keep waiting. Each week I sit here and I say, ooh, this could be the week Denver loses. But they find a way to get it done. Peyton Manning is fried. He is finished, but he's finding ways to win football games. I mean, his arm is not even close to what it used to be, but he's still finding ways to win football games, believe it or not. So I like Denver in this one. I mean,
You're killing me.
They've been on they're unstoppable right now.
I think I've said this on every single show we've had so far. Peyton Manning doesn't have to even be close to the Peyton Manning he used to have to be, because the Denver's defense is so good. And Oakland, the game's Oakland's playing at home
it's
today,
in Oakland.
correct? Oakland's no.
The black hole.
No, it's Denver.
You're
Denver by a couple touchdowns.
Oh, that sucks. That stings. I have the Raiders winning solely because Latavius Murray was god awful against the Bears. He is the reason. He is the sole reason they lost that game. But I think he's going to make up for it. Get a couple touchdowns. Derek Carr to Amari Cooper a lot. Like you guys said before, Peyton Manning is not Peyton Manning of old. So, he's the offense will probably score about maybe 10 to 14 points and everything. I think we could score 14 points on the Denver defense.
What makes you say that? Do you think the Oakland's offense is better than Detroit's offense and all the teams that have.
I think we're better than Detroit's offense. Matthew Stafford and Calvin Johnson is all they have. They have 0 running game. They have no other receivers.
Golden Tate.
Golden Tate is not that good anymore. He was good with Seattle. When he came to Detroit, he didn't really produce that much. But, yeah, I have Oakland winning. Totally not biased at all. Tim, 49ers and Giants.
That's like, that's Sunday Night Football.
Sunday night
That's
game.
a gross.
That is the only reason we are picking this game.
That is a gross Sunday night matchup. How can they let the NFL let that happen? Why when they were sitting in the production meeting would they say, you know what game we're going to put on Sunday night? We're going to put the Giants and 49ers on. Instead of 2 playoff teams, the Bengals and the Seahawks, or the Patriots and the Cowboys.
Well, the Cowboys played last week on Sunday night, so that's why they couldn't put them on. Which was another bad game. The Cowboys and Saints. I can't believe they picked that game either.
I mean, at the beginning of the season, you knew both of these teams were going to be bad. So I'm going with the Giants because they've shown a little bit of life, and Eli Manning is playing pretty well. And so San Francisco doesn't really have much talent. Our friend Dean on Sports Time, check it out, 8 p.m. Central, MUTV. We were talking about overrated quarterbacks, or disappointing quarterbacks on the season. He said that the most disappointing was Colin Kaepernick, and I wouldn't say most, but he has been disappointing, and that trend will continue today. So, New York Football Giants.
John?
Take the Niners. I mean, I don't know. It's just
I don't care.
I don't care. Yeah, Niners.
I have the Giants, and I'll probably only watch the game to see if Odell has another great catch.
Yeah,
it's on
tonight. You never know.
Yeah, you never know. All right, last game, the Monday night game. John, Pittsburgh versus San Diego.
I like San Diego. It's in San Diego, Monday Night Football. I don't know if the Steelers will win a game without Big Ben.
Good point.
Well, this pick is going to give away my stone cold lock of the century of the week.
Of the century of the week.
Yeah.
The century of the week.
Yeah. No, I think. I mean, I don't think I'm extremely confident that Pittsburgh is going to win this game. San Diego right now should be 0-4. There's really no other way. There's really no other way to sugarcoat it. They've run it. The 2 wins have been gifts to them, and from Cleveland and from Detroit in the first week. And as bad as Michael Vick looked, I don't think Mike Tomlin is really that stupid that he's not just going to run Le'Veon Bell all day long. A couple weeks ago when San Diego took on the Minnesota Vikings, Adrian Peterson just rushed for how many? 2 or 3? I believe he rushed for 3 touchdowns against them. Ran all over that defense, and Le'Veon Bell is a better running back than Adrian Peterson. So there's no real reason for me to think that San Diego is going to win this game.
Kind of my bold pick of the week of the century.
Bold pick or your stone cold lock of the century?
This is bold. This is bold as anything. This will end in a 21-21 tie on Monday Night Football. They will go to overtime and nobody will score.
You gotta defend this. Why?
I will defend this solely because both offenses don't look very good. Both defenses are semi-decent in everything. Pittsburgh's defense may be slightly above San Diego, but they're not old-time Pittsburgh.
I don't think either of them
steel curtain
I don't
Pittsburgh.
think their defense is that good, Phil. Either of them.
Well, we'll find out. I mean, that's a bold pick. I like it, though. I like bold. Let's do real quick. We're starting to run out of time.
9 minutes.
We had 9 minutes?
Yeah.
Oh, we had 9 minutes.
We
I
have
thought
9
that
minutes.
was 25. My bad.
No.
Let's still do it anyway. Lock of the week.
Hold on a second.
Oh, do we have an intro for it?
We do have an intro. Oh, I already have it up. I was preparing for this earlier.
Look at you.
If you're wondering where that soundbite is from, it's from a show called Aqua Teen Hunger Force, featuring.
I'm not even gonna ask.
Nobody was wondering that.
Nobody
Tim.
was wondering. I'm not.
I was wondering. I love that show.
I was wondering, and I knew where it was from.
Phil, what's the lock of the century of the
All
week?
right. Well, John kind of hinted
Stone
at
Cold.
Stone Cold lock of
Stone
the century of the
Cold.
week.
Well, John kind of hinted at it at the beginning of the show when I just gave a one-word answer to the Texas Rangers versus Toronto Blue Jays game. The Texas Rangers will sweep the Toronto Blue Jays today. I mean, they have all the momentum. It's in Texas. I think they lost only a handful of games on that after the All-Star break at home. So they have all the momentum and everything. Price probably won't pitch. Burley's not pitching for Toronto. And
It's Marco Estrada.
yeah, I know.
He's the starter.
I know, you said it. I heard
I
you,
know.
Tim.
Well, you were asking who was pitching.
No, I just said that they weren't pitching. And so, I mean, and Toronto just can't hit. This entire series, they just haven't been able to hit. Adrian Beltre has been really good for Texas, so yeah, they're going to get swept today.
Tim,
Actually, John, why don't you go, because I just talked about San Diego and Pittsburgh.
Your lock is Pittsburgh.
Well, I want to give the viewer a little bit of a break from having to listen to me talk about that game.
Well, I'm
That's
sure the
very
viewers
considerate.
appreciate that. My lock of the week, of the century of the week, is that I know that Jake Arrieta is going to pitch a shutout
Oh.
against the Cardinals.
What's that going to drop his ERA to, like, point?
0. Just
Is
a
it
sh-
postseason
gonna
ERA?
flatline.
0.00.
It's
Probably
going to
because he's pitched
flatline.
one game, and he
Yeah,
pitched a
just shut him
shutout.
out.
I'm talking
He's
about
gonna-
since the All-Star
He's
break.
going to have a shutout streak going.
And I just want to go back to Phil's thing,
Mm-hmm.
because I just have to be right about everything.
Right. I thought you were giving the listeners a break, Tim.
No, I'm not. sorry, listeners. Adrian Beltre is day-to-day.
Yeah, he's
So-
going to play. It's game 3 at Texas. He's going to play.
All
He's
right,
going
I
to
just
play.
wanted to
Stone
wanted
Cold
to
lock of the week,
inform.
Adrian Beltre
Phil's
will play.
second Stone Cold lock pick of the week of the century of the era.
Inside sources close to other sources are telling Phil that Adrian Beltre will play.
Me and Adam Schefter are tight.
Adam Schefter's reporting on
All right.
Adrian Beltre. Okay.
I knew you were going to jump on that the minute he said that. I was like,
Yeah, 'cause I gotta be right. Yeah, like I said about 5 minutes ago, maybe 3 minutes ago, I don't know.
Yeah. Not long enough.
Time is an illusion.
Yeah, thank you. Pittsburgh into San Diego. San Diego is they're a worse team on the road, but it's if you play well, you're gonna win in San Diego, and
We'll see.
feed Le'Veon Bell the rock. The only
That's
chance.
what they're going to have to do, though. That's the thing.
Yeah, but there's no way that San Diego's gonna stop it.
I mean, if they're running the ball every time, I think
That's what the Vikings did. They ran the ball every single play.
We'll see what happens.
And
I mean, fool me once, shame on me. Fool me twice, shame on you.
so I think San Diego has a chance in this game if Michael Vick throws as much as he did last week. And
We'll see what happens.
Mike Tomlin sort of got some flack for that. So
Yeah.
We'll see what
just
happens.
Get the ball
We'll
to
see what
Bell.
happens.
He's your best player.
5 minutes.
So what's going on for the rest of the week? Anything you guys want to plug? Anything you guys are doing?
Let's
Any
talk
TV?
about Marquette Madness.
I didn't go.
Oh,
You didn't go.
missed
I
I didn't
out.
go. No, I went to the hockey game instead.
How was that?
It was a pretty good game. They beat Northwestern 2-1.
All
They
right.
should have. They beat them 12-0 on Saturday. So
12-0?
Yeah.
Wow.
Northwestern had a 4-man bench.
Oh.
Wow.
So, but yeah, how was it, guys?
It was entertaining. Marquette did a great job. They kind of had that
I
last.
did go to media. Sorry, I
Yeah,
completely
no,
just
go ahead,
cut.
go ahead.
Did go to media day though. I was at media day, which was
Yeah,
cool.
yeah. He had an interview with Steve Wojciechowski.
I did, yeah,
and
that was cool.
everything. Is
Yeah.
that on the wire yet?
No, we'll have those articles up closer to the season.
All right, cool.
There's a little bit of stuff
Go
like,
like John's Instagram pic. It's pretty great.
go do that.
But yeah, no, I mean they did a fantastic job with the setup and everything. They got the crowd into it and everything. The scrimmages were fun to watch, both the men's and women's team. The dunk contest was very entertaining. Henry Ellenson had one dunk that left me with my jaw dropped and
He's
everything.
gonna be good.
This
is
He's
Henry's
gonna
team.
be
I
good.
was pretty skeptical of Henry Ellenson because I see him walking around.
He's skinny.
Yeah, I see him walking around campus a lot, and he just doesn't seem like that big of a.
He's tall.
He's a more
He looks tall. He looks young.
he's a more
and-
muscular Crispus
Yeah,
Porzingis.
and he when he was on that floor, he changed everything. He had one of the best put back dunks in the early part of the scrimmage.
That was Wally.
That was Wally?
Yeah. Wally just came out of nowhere and like dunked on 4 people.
Okay, so Wally's
gonna get some playing time.
Wally's getting in there. He's not just on the team because Henry's his brother. That was an incredible putback.
How about the Milwaukee Bucks showing up to be the guest judges? Jabari Parker, Miles Plumlee, and some other Bucks player.
That was cool.
Yeah.
Little insider information here for you guys. They're not going to be opposed to letting Henry bring the ball up in transition either. I mean, this is literally Henry's team. They're going to
let him do whatever he wants.
He's going to be spreading the floor and everything.
Do you have any idea of the starting 5?
I have a little plug here. Read Dan Reiner in the Marquette Tribune has an article about this week or on MarquetteWire.com.
.org.
Sorry.
Didn't want people going to MarquetteWire.com.
Don't knock out.
You got to read this article.
MarquetteWire.org.
There's your more homework.
More homework. So definitely check that article out. But yeah, Cheatham might be playing the point, which I know some people don't think that. I thought he'd be more of a 2, with Tracy Carter backing him up. Tracy Carter, they've talked a lot about his improvement, and they were really impressed with that. Same thing with Juwan Johnson.
Juwan played good.
Yeah, they think he improved
well.
the shooting a lot. Sakar at the 3-4. We'll see Juwan, Dwayne, Tracy, all of them will be in the mix at the 2. And then Luke and Henry at the 4 and 5. Luke Fisher will probably be one of the most improved players this year, I think.
Why was Luke Fisher not
he wasn't
playing?
He didn't play at the scrimmage?
No.
I don't have that information.
You didn't
probably
hear
just
anything
precautionary or
It
something.
might have been,
I felt like Tracy played really well, and I felt like he should have been the 1 and everything because he brought the ball up and handled it very well. But I'm
we'll
not
see.
the
Yeah.
coach.
No Drake at Marquette Madness. That was a rumor. I always mispronounce it. Cheatham. How do you pronounce this?
Hanif.
Hanif is family friends with Drake.
Really?
Which is kind of interesting. Yeah.
Oh, wait a second. Hanif is in my comm discussion class, and at the beginning of every class, our TA who runs the discussion asks us an attendance question, and she asked if an actor was going to star in a movie about you, which one it would be, and he said Drake.
Oh, really?
So now that makes sense.
Yep.
I said...
so that's the real possibility.
What did you say?
I said either Chris Pratt or Michael C. Hall, who don't have anything to do with each other.
Final
really.
thoughts. Who would you have starring in a movie about?
Starring in a movie about me? Come back to me.
I'd have DiCaprio.
DiCaprio.
Yeah, I gotta have DiCaprio.
Oh yeah.
You see the resemblance, right?
Oh yeah.
Close one eye.
That's
Now
what
the
I'm
other
doing. That's what
Now
I'm doing
close
right
the
now.
other eye, and now imagine DiCaprio.
John, is that?
Wait, it worked, John.
Well, that's
So
10:30.
anything you guys want to plug real quick? Anything you guys doing this week?
Sports time.
Sports time.
Probably.
I'm gonna be an anchor this week.
Cool.
He hopes to be. Hope maybe I'll be an analyst. Maybe Phil and I'll be rocking the desk.
Hey.
I will be on the call for the Xavier men's soccer game next Saturday. Tune into that.
I
I'm
think
producing
should
today's
have-
soccer game.
Cool. Check out the halftime show, right?
I don't think I'm gonna have a half.
No halftime show? Okay.
Yeah, I might be producing some games.
Cool.
Stay tuned for basketball season. I'm gonna be in here a lot, and hopefully, I'll have somebody because we will have a halftime show for that.
Check out the Marquette Tribune this week. I should have a tennis profile. Some of the things are being worked out right now, but there should be a tennis profile up. Courtney Hebert on the girls tennis team played in Singapore for a year. We're talking to her about that. So check that out. If everything shakes out, that should work. Another great show, guys.
Bless
Yeah.
BC
Where are we going?
football's heart. Losing 3-0. That game's a heartbreaker.
Real quick, I know we're over time probably, but where are we going for breakfast? Kobe?
Or Mashuda. We have 30 minutes until Mashuda opens.
We'll decide.
We'll decide. Well, we gotta have we gotta let the viewer. I mean, this has been a
Look
weekly
on our
tradition.
Twitter and we'll tell you right
Yeah,
next
we'll-
to your checklist of
Follow
all your
us,
homework.
probably Kobe, but
Probably
I'm feeling
Kobe. Yeah.
Kobe. For Phil Penarski, Tim Sirota, I'm John.